Our top focus this morning is on all the dramatic developments coming in from Maharashtra. Hours after his arrest, Union Minister and BJP leader Narayan Rane has been granted bail now in the Slap CM Uddhav remark case. Rane was given bail late last night by the magistrate court in Raigad district of Maharashtra after he was taken into custody yesterday. He reached his Mumbai residence at 4:45 this morning. The police has charged Union Minister Narayan Rane under sections 5052, that means provocation intending to break public peace, section 189, and that stands for threat of injury to public servant, among many other charges. Now, while speaking to India Today, Rane had said that the Maharashtra government was scared of him, but he didn't say anything wrong. So Narayan Rane's arrest yesterday was preceded by protests by Sena cadre across the state, which also led to all-out clashes breaking out in parts of Mumbai and Nashik with BJP workers.
Union Minister Narayan Rane is taken into custody in the middle of his lunch on Tuesday. The arrest comes after a remark by Narayan Rane on Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, triggering a fresh round of showdown between the Shiv Sena and BJP.
बोलायचा अधिकार तरी आहे का? बाजूला म्हणा एखादा सेक्रेटरी ठेवा आणि विचारून बोल. त्याशी नाही काय? किती वर्ष आली देशाला संतुलन? हिरक महोत्सव काय? हे असतो तर कानाखाली चढवली. हे काय देशाचं तुम्हाला स्वातंत्र्य दिनाची माहिती नसावी? सांगा मला किती चीड येणारी गोष्ट आहे.
Rane's jibe at Thackeray for allegedly forgetting Independence Day was too much for the Shiv Sena to stomach. The Sainiks hit the streets, pelting stones at the BJP office in Nashik. Pretty soon, workers of the two parties came to blows at many places, including outside Rane's residence in Juhu. The state machinery also swung into action. 4 FIRs were filed against Rane at different locations. Rane, who was arrested from Sanghameshwara, was taken to Raigad.
उस दिन में होता, उस स्वतंत्र दिन के दिन होता, तो मैं वही थप्पड़ मारता कि उनको हमारे राष्ट्र की आजादी का तारीख मालूम नहीं, साल मालूम नहीं. उस दिन होता तो अभी मारूंगा ऐसा नहीं कहा. ये है जबरदस्ती मेरे को अरेस्ट किया जा रहा है और जबरदस्ती मेरे को कुछ मेरे जीवन को धोखा निर्माण करने का काम पुलिस लोग कर रहे हैं.
While the Shiv Sena has accused the BJP of using Rane to target the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government, the Saffron Party has called the arrest vendetta.
आपको किसी ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया है क्या मुख्यमंत्री के ऊपर हमला करने का? तो महाराष्ट्र में लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन जो है वो कानून का राज चलता है महाराष्ट्र में. अभी हमारे हाथ कानून से बंधे हैं क्योंकि हमारी सरकार है.
एक तरह से ये लोकतंत्र का हनन है, लोकतंत्र की हत्या है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी के दफ्तरों के ऊपर पत्थरबाजी करना, लोगों के जान को जोखिम में डालना, क्या ये कानून है? इस प्रकार से एक मंत्री पर 30-30, 40-40 FIR कर देना, क्या ये कानून है?
It all started in 2005 when Narayan Rane quit the Shiv Sena. Till then, it was only Uddhav Thackeray versus Narayan Rane. But after Narayan Rane joined the BJP, it became a Shiv Sena versus BJP battle in Maharashtra. The BJP's central leadership joining the entire controversy, it will soon be seen as a center versus state controversy. With camera person Raju Inamdar, Kamlesh Sutar in Mumbai for India Today.
The Congress seems to be facing never-ending problems in poll-bound Punjab. The party high command has now summoned some of the disgruntled legislators to Delhi after 34 MLAs. And these are MLAs from the Sidhu camp. They came forward and demanded the removal of Captain Amarinder. The fighting between Captain Amarinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu is plaguing the party, with polls just months away.
The Congress's woes are far from over in Punjab. With just months left for the all-crucial assembly elections, the warring Sardars are at it again. It all began with murmurs of a possible bid by Navjot Singh Sidhu's camp to dislodge Captain Amarinder Singh from the Chief Minister's post. At the centre of it was a meeting between Navjot Singh Sidhu and 31 MLAs, including 4 cabinet ministers. And now, some of these disgruntled Punjab legislators will meet party high command in the national capital. But interestingly, ahead of the meeting with the top brass, India Today has learnt that 7 out of 31 MLAs have denied being part of the alleged plot to dislodge the Punjab Chief Minister. The revolt is not the only issue plaguing the Punjab Congress. Sidhu's close aide, Malvinder Mali, on Tuesday posted a picture of Pakistan defence journalist Arusa Alam, a close friend of Captain Amarinder Singh. Taking a pot shot at the Chief Minister, Mali said Arusa, a Pakistan citizen, was an advisor of the captain. The captain camp is not impressed.
ऐसे समय में किसी को भी जिससे देश की एकता और अखंडता को खतरा हो, ऐसी बात किसी को करना नहीं चाहिए। जो देश के खिलाफ बोलेगा उसका देश में रहने का कोई हक नहीं।
Malvinder Mali is not new to controversies. Earlier this month, he had shared a picture of former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi holding a gun and skulls.
अब कश्मीर के को लेकर स्वतंत्रता की डिमांड कर देना, ये सारी चीजें, ये गलती नहीं है, ये तो महापाप है। और केवल पाकिस्तान ही नहीं, चाइना में जाके एमओयू करना, पाकिस्तान के लिए इस प्रकार के बयान देना, ये बहुत बड़ा षड्यंत्र है।
With no end to the infighting in Punjab, it is once again up to the Congress top brass to broker peace between the Sardars. With Kamaljit Sandhu, Manjeet Sehgal and Satyendra Chauhan, Bureau Report, India Today.
Now, what triggered also a big political face-off yesterday was the National Monetization Pipeline plan announced by the central government. The centre essentially aims to raise 6 lakh crore rupees through monetization of assets, including airports, highways and railways. The opposition has hit out at the government, claiming that this drive will lead to the monopoly of a few conglomerates.
The Narendra Modi government's ambitious plan to raise 6 lakh crore rupees by monetizing national assets has sparked a political face-off. A day after Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman announced the initiative, the Congress has alleged the government decision was taken by keeping the stakeholders in the dark.
We clearly identified as infrastructure being the central pillar through which, if public expenditure happens, you're able to be sure that spillover effect, which itself can create that cycle of demand.
In order to collect 1.5 lakh crore a year by way of rents, you call it by whatever name, by way of rent, they are indulging in what I would call a grand bargain sale, a grand closing down sale.
Congress MP Rahul Gandhi has claimed the entire move is designed to help select business houses.
सबसे पहले जो स्ट्रेटेजिक इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनको प्राइवेटाइज नहीं करा जाता था। अब यहां पे ये सारे के सारे प्राइवेटाइजेशन मोनोपोली बनाने के लिए करे जा रहे हैं। ये जो एसेट्स हैं इनको बनाने में 70 साल लगे हैं। ये पूरा का पूरा 3-4 लोगों के हवाले किया जा रहा है।
जिस सरकार ने राष्ट्र की तिजोरी को भरने का काम किया और कांग्रेस के लुटेरों से सुरक्षित किया, उस सरकार पर छीटाकशी करने का राहुल गांधी जी का प्रयास है। क्या राहुल गांधी का ये मानना है कि वो राज्य की सरकारें भी जो इस प्रकार का मोनेटाइजेशन कांग्रेस के नेतृत्व में कर रही हैं, वो सब अपने राज्यों को बेचने का काम कर रहे हैं?
The government's asset monetization project aims to raise 6 lakh crore rupees over 4 financial years. 14 sectors are included in the pipeline. 27% of the funds will be generated from roads and 25% from railways. The other sectors covered under the project include power generation and transmission, ports, airports, etc.
Ownership of assets remains with the government. That was a slide shown. I'm just showing it here. The ownership remains of those assets with the government, and there will be a mandatory hand back. They'll have to give back after a certain time. So let there not be any confusion, oh, this government is selling away. No, these are assets, brownfield, which will be still with the ownership of the government.
Big word of caution there by the Congress party as the Modi government embarks on its ambitious national monetization pipeline. But will we see a joint and coordinated effort by the opposition to stall this dilution of stakes in strategic assets, or will it be left at mere noise-making? With camera person Ritesh, this is Anand Patel in New Delhi for India Today.
The BJP is going all out against Rahul Gandhi for using Twitter after going ahead and just a few weeks back criticizing the social media platform. In his first tweet after his account was unlocked, Rahul mocked the government over the monetization plan that was announced on Monday. The BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya compared Rahul's return to Twitter to Jawaharlal Nehru apologizing to the British government and seeking a release from the Naba prison. Malviya lashed out, saying that cowardice runs deep in the Nehru-Gandhi family. Meanwhile, you also had BJP Sambit Patra saying that Rahul Gandhi had apologized to Twitter soon after putting out that tweet. Rahul's Twitter account was locked after he revealed the identity of the parents of a Dalit girl who was raped in the national capital. After that, the Congress lashed out at Twitter, the BJP saying now he seems to have forgotten all of that. So as the BJP claims that Rahul criticized Twitter, hence boycotted the social media giant, listen in to exactly what Rahul said when he took on Twitter after his account was locked.
A company is making its business to define our politics. And as a politician, I don't like that. This is an attack on the democratic structure of the country. This is not an attack on Rahul Gandhi. This is not, simply shutting Rahul Gandhi down. I have 19, 20 million followers. You're denying them the right to an opinion. They're breaching the idea that Twitter is a neutral platform. And for the investors, this is a very dangerous thing, because taking sides in the political contest has repercussions for Twitter. Our democracy is under attack. We're not allowed to speak in parliament. The media is controlled. And I thought there was a ray of light where we could put what we thought on Twitter.
The Supreme Court will be hearing a plea against the Pegasus Snoopgate probe today. The Supreme Court bench, headed by Chief Justice N.V. Ramana, will seek responses from the union government over objections to the Pegasus probe. The Apex Court had earlier issued a notice to the centre and the West Bengal government in connection with a petition challenging the setting up of a commission by the state government to investigate the Pegasus surveillance allegations. The Supreme Court refused to stay the notification that was issued by the Bengal government, instead setting up an inquiry commission to investigate the revelations of the Pegasus project. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, representing the centre, had called the Bengal government's notification as unconstitutional. Now, just like the previous government and the Congress government which preceded it, the current BJP government in Karnataka is dragging its feet on releasing the report of a caste-based socio-economic census that was carried out in the state a few years ago in 2015 by the Congress government headed by former Chief Minister Sidhu. Here's our report on the political face-off on that report.
In light of the passage of the 127th Constitution Amendment Bill to restore the power of states to decide OBC quota, there has been a demand from several regional parties to carry out a socio-economic caste census in the country to understand the status of various castes. Minister for the Backward Class Welfare Department, Kota Srinivas Pujari, who was in favor of releasing the report when in opposition 3 years ago, said the report is under evaluation with the Backward Classes Commission.
ಈ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಕಾಂತರಾಜ್ರವರೇ ಅದನ್ನು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ವರದಿಯನ್ನು ಅಂದಿನ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಕಳಿಸಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾರಣ ಕಳಿಸಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಈಗ ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಜಯಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಹೆಗಡೆ ಅವರು ಆಯೋಗದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವರ ಸುಪರ್ದಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಅವರು ಸುಪರ್ದಿಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದು ಅವ್ರೇನು ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಕಳಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಗಮನ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ. ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗೊಂದಲದಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವರು ಕಳಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬಾಕಿ ಇದೆ, ಅದು ಬಂದ ನಂತರ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ.
Siddaramaiah, who had provided an impetus for the 2015 caste census in Karnataka, did not release its findings. Siddaramaiah had commissioned the socio-economic caste census in April 2015 at a cost of 133 crore rupees after a gap of 84 years. But his government never released the report. Congress leaders and ministers reportedly convinced Siddaramaiah not to release the report, fearing an adverse effect in the 2018 assembly elections.
ಅವರಿಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅದು ವರದಿನೂ ಸಹ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಕೇಳಿ. ಕಾಂತರಾಜು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜನಗಣತಿ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಜನಗಣತಿ ನನಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಬೆರೆಸಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಬಲ್ಲೆ. ಇವರು ಬರೆಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವರದಿ ಅದು. 160 ಕೋಟಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಂತರಾಜು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷನ ಮಾಡಿ
ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸಿದ್ದರಾಮಯ್ಯನೇ ಪರಿಶೀಲನೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಅದಿನ್ನೂ ಬಂದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಕೈಗೆ ಸರ್ಕಾರದ ಕೈಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಪರ್ಮನೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿದ್ದೀರಿ.
A leaked version of the census report had indicated that the dominant castes like the Lingayats constitute only 9.8% of the population instead of the general estimate of 17%, and Vocaligas 8.2% instead of 15% in the 6 crore population of the state. With Nolan Pinto in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
Days after the Taliban takeover, the Islamic Emirate has moved quickly to form what they call a government. But who are these people dubbed to be cabinet members? Here's a grim picture of what Afghanistan is going to look like. Hamdullah Numani, the man who's on the United Nations terror list, has been named as the mayor of Kabul. Sadr Ibrahim, a Taliban terrorist who's an expert in roadside blasts, is the new Afghanistan Home Minister. Then you have Abdul Baki, a member of the Haqqani network, the most feared terror group in Afghanistan, has been made the acting higher education head. Gul Agha, a terrorist against whom US, UN and EU have all imposed heavy sanctions under counter-terror financing, is now, believe it or not, the finance minister of Afghanistan. A list of officials who each bear direct links to terror are being chosen to form the government in Afghanistan by the Taliban. This move comes as Taliban addressed their second press conference yesterday, and among the top announcements, Afghan women workers were asked to stay home until further notice. Taliban also said Afghans will no longer be allowed to leave Kabul and reiterated that 31st August is the deadline for pullout, and that will not be extended for the United States. The nexus between Taliban and Pakistan only seems to be growing by the day. A Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leader exposed Imran Khan government's anti-India agenda on their national television channel, saying that the Taliban will back Pakistan in their nefarious fight for Kashmir.
हमें कहते हैं हम आपके साथ हैं और इंशाल्लाह वो आके हमारे साथ कश्मीर फतह करके देंगे.
A shocking claim and a growing nexus. There is now enough evidence of strong ties between Taliban and Pakistan's leadership. Imran Khan, also known as Taliban Khan, has hailed Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan.
जब आप किसी का कल्चर ले लेते हैं तो वो क्या आप करते हैं? आप बेसिकली ये कह रहे हैं कि वो कल्चर हमारे से ज्यादा ऊंचा है. आप एक मुख्तलिफ कल्चर के गुलाम बन जाते हैं. जब आप ज़ेनी गुलाम बनते हैं तो ये याद रखें, असल गुलामी से ज्यादा बुरी ज़ेनी गुलामी है.
His leaders' claims show Pakistan's napak anti-India agenda.
अफगानिस्तान माशाल्लाह से देख लें, वो तालिबान हमें कहते हैं हम आपके साथ हैं और इंशाल्लाह वो आके हमारे साथ कश्मीर फतह करके देंगे.
While speaking on a television debate, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf leader Neelam Irshad Sheikh confirmed Pakistan's nefarious plot to use Taliban against India in Kashmir. The shocking claim comes after a video of celebratory fire in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Two dreaded UN-designated banned terrorist organizations, Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed cadres carried out several rallies in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir to celebrate the homecoming of LET and JEM terrorists who were fighting alongside the Taliban in Afghanistan. Though Taliban has claimed in the past it will not interfere in Kashmir as it is a bilateral issue between India and Pakistan, the question remains, can the Akas of terror be trusted amidst this growing nexus between multiple phases of Pakistan's state-sponsored terror? Bureau Report, India Today.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Fest Up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned to us here on India Today. Over the next few hours, I'll continue getting you all the top stories.